People have very different ideas of how it should be. But I think what the majority can agree on, the one thing everyone supports, is a negative peace. The kind of peace that at least doesn't have any military actions. It seems to me that this is supported by the majority of people who live here. People have different ideas on anything more than that. People have a lot of fears and worries, and sometimes this translates into aggression, into grievances against the Ukrainian government. Some part of the population is just waiting for all this to end, and for Donetsk to rejoin Ukraine. To be honest, I haven't heard any fears about the disengagement here, over this side in Donetsk, but I've heard a lot of military noise in the last few days. I've heard a lot of planes taking off and landing, which I don't understand because in principle, it seems to me that we're not even tracking this anymore. The noise is audible. I live in a neighborhood where it's quiet, but the sounds even reach us. The biggest worries at the moment is the fact that the Ukrainian society is so tense, and we can see that from here. And of course people believe the Russian television that is broadcast here, which is provoking that tension by showing the most shocking images of this Ukrainian fear. We here are still very scared that the conflict may erupt into a hot phase again, considering that the Ukrainian public is unwilling to consider ideas of separation of forces. I haven't heard people eagerly discussing the Steinmeier formula. Of course, maybe on television it's discussed, but I personally try not to watch TV here. But I like the fact that even when I just walk into a grocery store, where the radio is on, I hear discussions like, is it okay if these republics return to Ukraine? Is this normal or not? Even some panel shows that take colors. If before, when I entered a store, I'd hear only talk about how we need to liberate these territories in the Donetsk and Luhansk regions that are temporarily occupied by Kiev, then now I hear talk about, is it okay or not for us to return to Ukraine? I can see that something is starting to change for us. I sometimes also don't understand what's going on in Donetsk or Luhansk, or in Ukraine, and I think that the best way to find out is to talk on a horizontal level, to talk to each other, to learn and understand our fears, and your fears. Very often, our fears dictate our decisions. They lead to emotional aggression. But maybe if you discuss it, if you talk. I also am sometimes scared of talking to people in Donetsk or Kiev, because I can see that they are very high-strung. Politically, they have very hard and firm positions, which they are trying to prove are right. But you still have to have a dialogue. Because for me, personally, I think that we've paid enough of a price for this conflict. Every part of Ukraine, under government control or not, and it's high time to pay something for peace. But what price are we ready to pay? Personally, I'm not ready to pay anything more for the continuation of this war. The conflict in our society is very complex, and it's ruining our society in possibly unseen ways, to the people who live in Ukraine and don't visit here. But I see that not only the society is ruined here, over the demarcation line where I live, but also on government-controlled territory.